Hello everyone, welcome to the class on Special Electoral Roll Revision in Bihar and welcome you all to V2B Academy. So if you are first time looking at our channel, please watch the video till the end, and if you feel that this video is worthful, definitely don't forget to like the video and also please give your feedback to the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell icon so that only when you subscribe and click the notification bell icon, so whenever we upload the new video, that will be notified to you. Okay, so you will not be missed out with any important updates with respect to current affairs. So let's start the video discussion. So first of all, let's see what is electoral roll. Okay, so let's go to the current affairs later. First, let's see the basics. Okay, let's clear our basic and then understand what is in the news. Okay, so electoral roll is just a list. So basically this is a list which consists of who are eligible to vote. For example, in a constituency, there are 100 people. Per se, there are 100 people who are eligible to vote. All of these 100 people names will be listed in this particular list. Okay, this particular list is nothing but it's an electoral roll. Okay, it's a list of persons who are eligible to vote in the elections. So, who prepares it? The Election Commission of India prepares it, and the power to prepare this particular electoral roll comes from the Representation of People Act of 1950. So it also includes, other than the names of the person, it includes the address of that particular person, voter ID of that particular person, and remaining other details which are required for the voting. Okay, so this list is known as electoral roll. What is the legal basis for it? Under Article 326 of the Constitution, this particular article will guarantee voting rights to the citizens. We know we actually follow universal adult franchise. It means whoever are above 18 years, they'll be guaranteed the voting rights as per the Constitution. From the Constitution, we have got that powers. So that is Article 326. And the next one is Representation of People Act of 1950. This particular act will provide the legal framework for the preparation. Okay, so it will provide certain framework through which the electoral rolls needed to be revised and the electoral rolls needed to be prepared. So the guidelines will be given as per Representation of People Act. Who will prepare this? Election Commission of India will prepare as per the guidelines that are given in the Representation of People Act of 1950. And there is election rules. As per Election Rules 1960 also, there are certain procedures that are prescribed as part of it. Okay, there are some norms that are listed under Election Rules 1960, according to which also electoral rolls are prepared. So what is electoral revision then? So the name itself signifies, right? So whatever the list that we have with respect to the voters list, so if we are revising this particular list according to the changes that occur in the demography, okay, so that particular changes or revision is called as electoral roll revision. So for example, in a constituency, so if let's take an example of Bihar only. So in 2003, Bihar's electoral roll revision was conducted. Till now it was not conducted. Intensive electoral revision activity was not conducted till now. So because of non-conduction of the electoral roll revision, so there is a lot of space that happened. Okay, from 2003, now we are in 2025. So a lot of people who are listed in this particular electoral roll might have died. Okay, in order to revise according to the change in the demography of Bihar or change in the demography of that particular constituency or place, we need to revise the electoral rolls also. Okay, so that is nothing but electoral roll revision. So we'll be adding the new eligible voters who crossed 18 plus, and will delete who are migrated or the persons who died. Okay, the deceased persons will be eliminated from the voting list, and we'll correct certain personal details. For example, if the name of the candidate is printed wrong, so we need to change the name of the candidate, right? So in that way, the age criteria, so the name, age, and all of the personal details will get changed. Okay, they'll be amended as per the requirements, and this particular process will ensure transparency. So this will integrate it will increase the integrity of the voter database. So all of this needed. Okay, all of these are done as part of electoral roll revision. Okay, so there are different types of revisions. Okay, for example, we'll have certain kind of annual revisions. So annually we'll revise it. So this is a routine updation done every year. Usually it will be done between October and January. And the second type of electoral roll revision is the special revision. As part of the special revision, what will be done is whenever the delimitation of the constituencies happen, so whenever the legal changes are brought, so during that time we actually revise the electoral rolls also. This is called a special revision. And the third one is continuous updating. So the ongoing updates throughout the year, okay, throughout the year, basing upon the updates that is happening in the society, will update the electoral rolls also. So that is nothing but it's a continuous update. A small kind of amendments will be done in the electoral roll through continuous updations. And the intensive revision is something which is in the news. So intensive revision is a door-to-door verification. So we'll actually verify the details of the voters. Okay, we'll add the eligible voters who crossed 18 plus recently and who are eligible to vote, and will actually do certain kind of amendments into the list. Okay, so we'll remove the deceased persons and we'll remove the migrated persons. So all of this revisions will be done basing upon the door-to-door verification. So this is a rare phenomena which occurs after long gap. So for example, in Bihar, we have done this intensive revision of the electoral rolls in 2003, and now Election Commission of India has announced the electoral revision of Bihar. Okay, almost it has been more than 20 years. Okay, after more than 20 years, this intensive revision activity is takes place. Okay, in Bihar. So what is the legal and the constitutional framework? So what are the powers through which this electoral revision is happening? So Article 324 of the Constitution of India empowers Election Commission of India to do this particular activity so that they can conduct the free and fair elections. So basically, Election Commission of India through the Article 324 of the Constitution will have a power, will have a duty. Okay, it will have a power, it will have a duty to conduct free and fair elections. And under Article 326, so everyone who crossed 18, if that particular person is an Indian citizen, that particular person, except in certain circumstances, will have a right to vote. So this is universal adult franchise, which is guaranteed under Article 326. So and RPA, that is ROPA Act, that is Representation of People Act of 1950, and 1951 also has provided certain legal basis for the preparation and revision of the electoral rolls. And even in 1951 RPA Act, so there is a procedure that was given with respect to conduction of elections, offences and disqualifications. Okay, and we have come up with the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2003 also. So this also requires proof of citizens for the electoral enrollment, and also election rules 1960 will also frame, so it also have certain executive rules through which the additions, deletions and other process of electoral rolls needed to be conducted. So this is the legal basis, okay, through which the Election Commission of India will have the duty and obligation to revise the electoral roll so that we can change it according to the need. Okay. So what is the context of the news? Why we are reading all of this now? So it is because, as I've already told you, Election Commission of India has initiated a special intensive revision. So this is an intensive revision of electoral rolls. That is the activity which is rare, as I have already told you. So it is almost after 22 years. So this electoral revision activity is taking place. Okay. So basically this revision is aiming for updating the electoral rolls post 2024 Lok Sabha elections, we know. So through this process, we'll remove the ghost voters. Ghost voters are nothing but the ineligible voters. Okay. So we'll remove them, and we'll remove some illegal immigrants who came to Bihar. So all of these people will be removed. Okay. This will actually ensure the authenticity of that particular list. Okay. We'll have a data in the light of migration. So there in Bihar, so there is a problem of out migration. Okay. From state to state. So inner migration, or from Bihar to lot of other states, people will migrate. So there is a phenomenon of out migration that happens in Bihar. So in order to revise the list, okay, in order to deal with this particular issue also, this electoral revision will be helpful. And we know urbanization has taken place. Citizenship concerns are also there with respect to Bihar, and not only with Bihar, with many other states also citizenship concerns are there. To actually solve all these problems, electoral revision activity is taking place in the Bihar. So it was announced by Election Commission of India. So if you look at the Bihar's voter data snapshot, total population as of 2024 the Bihar's population is as of 2024, it is 12.7 crore. Okay, so who are estimated voting population? Almost 8 crore people out of 12 crore people are eligible to vote in Bihar. Okay, but registered voters are almost 7.72 crores, and voters listed in 2003. So this was the last time when the electoral revision was done. Okay, at that particular time it was 4.96 crore voters who are eligible to vote, and in 2003, so the surviving after the deaths and migrations, if you delete the people who died and the people who migrated from the 2003 list, so it will be almost 3.16 crore people who are left in Bihar. So needing new updation in 2024, so with almost 4.74 crore people will get added into this. Okay, so there are some documents that are needed to be provided by the citizens of Bihar itself. Okay, I mean, we don't have any citizens of the state, as I know, as you people know. But what I mean is, whoever are the residents of Bihar, they need to provide certain documents. So why this has become a controversial move? This is a good move, right? Basically, electoral revision will provide certain transparency for the election. However, this has become controversial because of the hasty decision of Election Commission of India. So this is a controversial move because ECI has mandated the proof of birth or parentage to verify their voter eligibility. So the obligation and the proof needed to be provided by the voter itself. In order to get the voting right, a person need to submit certain documents. So he need to prove his birth. He need to prove the parentage of that particular person's parents. Okay, what are the documents that were asked by the Election Commission of India to prove their citizenship or to prove their birth? Okay, so there are certain documents that were asked. First one is, if the person is born before July 1st 1987, they have to prove that particular birth by their own data, like any document which contains any official documents which contains the date of birth or the place of birth. Okay, that particular document need to contain this particular place of birth and date of birth. And if that particular person is born between July 1st 1987 to December 2nd 2004, so one parent's date and one parent's place of birth needed to be given. Okay, the proof of that particular document needed to be given. And if the person is born after 2004, after December 2nd 2004, both the parents' details are needed to be provided. So these are kind of documents that were asked in order to prove their birth. Okay, so Aadhaar and ration cards are not acceptable as part of it. Okay, so despite being widely availably used, we know Aadhaar is used for all the purposes. Even if you are going to the exam hall also, Aadhaar can be shown as an identity. Okay, so however, Aadhaar card and ration cards are not accepted in this particular activity. So that is the problem that the people are facing. So the acceptable documents are passport, birth certificate, matriculation certificate, school leaving certificate, government issued identity cards. Only these particular documents were accepted by Election Commission of India, and the widely accepted cards such as Aadhaar card and ration cards are not accepted in this particular electoral roll revision process in Bihar. So that is why it has become controversial. So what is the process and timeline? So August 1st 2024, the draft electoral roll will be published. From August 1st to September 1st 2024, so they need to submit their claims and objections, and from September 30 2024, the final electoral roll will be published. So electors can submit their particular documents through booth level officers. So whoever the booth level officers who are there in local way, through them also they can submit, or they can submit the documents online also via Election Commission of India website. Okay, there is a mobile app which is known as ECI net, so through which they need to submit their documents. Okay, so technological measures were brought in order to enhance the transparency of this particular thing. All documents uploaded are available only to the authorized officials in order to maintain the privacy of the individual. So whatever the documents that you upload through this particular application, so will be authorized, will be available, and they can be seen only by the authorized officials who are appointed or who were given powers as per the government rules. So online applications for registration, document upload, corrections are also enabled as part of this app, and presiding officers must ensure that these EVMs and VVPAT protocols are properly met. Okay, So what are the major challenges of this particular activity? So electoral revision, okay, each electoral registration officer who might be there over that particular area may need to process 2 lakh applications almost within 60 days. So this particular span was only 60 days. The 60 days time was given. Okay, even for the person to prove the citizenship, this 60 days might not be enough. And even for the electoral registration officer also to check that particular 2 lakh applications will also be a very huge task. So that is one problem. And administrative resources are also stretched as part of this particular thing. And disenfranchisement, so there is a tendency of disenfranchisement risk. What does it mean? So what does it mean is, so Bihar is a document poor state because there are a lot of illiterates who are there in Bihar, so who did not know to study well, who are not aware of the things properly in Bihar. So because of that, they lacked the basic documents that are required. For example, many people might have not studied, so because of that they might not have the matriculation documents, and they might not have that any other documents that are provided. So Aadhaar card is the basic one which will be acceptable by any government authority till now, but this is not accepted. So this is the problem that will lead to a eligible voter becoming ineligible. Okay, so that will lead to disenfranchisement risk. Okay, so because of this, many poor people, many Dalits and Adivasis, migrants and women will lag. A lot of people in Bihar, so all the vulnerable sections of the Bihar are lacking the birth certificates. They don't have matriculation records. Because of this, what happens is they lose their voting power. Okay, their right to vote will get disrupted. So 45% to 50% of voters who are aged between 18 to 40 are matriculates. The rest risk exclusion. So basically only 45% are matriculated. They have the matriculation certificate. Other than that, other people doesn't have that matriculation certificates, which is a problem again. Okay, so this will lead to a problem. Okay, they might lose their voting rights. And there is a controversy of Aadhaar exclusion because 90% of the Bihar population has Aadhaar card. Only 10% doesn't have the Aadhaar card. Okay, for them we can actually ask for the other proofs if they doesn't have the Aadhaar. Okay, Aadhaar coverage has not been done under this particular activity, so that is a concern again. Okay, and political scrutiny is also there. So as opposition parties are saying that they are questioning about the timing of this particular activity. Only 60 plus days are given to them. Okay, they are questioning about the transparency of this particular process, and they are questioning about why Aadhaar is getting excluded in this particular thing. Why you people are targeting deliberately the marginalized and the vulnerable sections of the society or Bihar society. Okay, so ECI has asked political parties to appoint the booth level agents to ensure the fairness. So what did Election Commission of India replied is, so in order to maintain transparency, as you are questioning about the transparency, what you can do is each of the political parties can actually appoint the booth level agents to ensure if there is a fairness or not. Okay, electoral registration officers will verify eligibility as per the Representation of People Act standards only, and training programs are also conducted for the block level officers so that they can do their work and duty efficiently. So what are the broader implications of this particular problem? So is universal adult franchise being eroded? Okay, I have told you there will be a tendency of disenfranchisement because of this activity. So because of this, the universal adult franchise, the right that is guaranteed under Article 326, might get eroded. Okay, because of the excessive documentation that is required under this particular process. Okay, so the burden of proof of citizen or the burden of proof of birth is actually kept on the citizen, which is not unfair. Okay, which is unfair. Okay, so this will lead to social equity problems. So there is a lot of exclusion. So mainly it is marginalized people, it is vulnerable people, it is women who will be deliberately excluded from this particular voting list. So because of this, they will lose their voting rights. Okay, so marginalized groups are the one who are at high risk because of this activity. Women and rural citizens are particularly vulnerable and they are excluded from this particular activity. So electoral integrity versus inclusion. So on the one hand, so we have a dilemma of, on the one hand, electoral integrity, on the other hand, inclusion. So on one hand, we always speak about the electoral reforms, the election Okay, process needed to be reformed. These kind of debates are often heard from the experts, right? On the other hand, we also speak about inclusion. So there is a dilemma between this particular two things. So basically what I say is electoral integrity is important, inclusion is also important. So in order to make this particular activity more inclusive with the electoral integrity, so proper time needed to be given. Okay, hasty implementation of this particular act will not provide any good results. So in order to have an efficient way of electoral roll revision, we need to give proper time, and all the documents which are available with the citizens can be accepted. Okay, they needed to be accepted. Even the other cards need not to be excluded from this particular revision activity. So these kind of steps if we take, definitely electoral integrity along with the inclusion process will be fairly done. So what should be the way forward? So we have to expand the list of the acceptable documents. This is what I have told. So we have to include Aadhaar, ration cards, and also MG Narega job card also can be included as part of it. And we have to extend the timeline. So 1 month, 1 month and 2 months are insufficient for verification of 4+ crore candidates. Like birth. Right, so we need to extend the timeline, and we have to educate people about how to get the documents and where to apply the documents. We need to provide awareness to them, so it requires proper time. Okay, hasty implementation of this decision will not result in a positive way. And we need to create appeal mechanisms also. If someone is deliberately getting avoided from this particular list, or if they are losing their right to vote, they can actually they are needed to be provided. They need to have that particular right to appeal. Okay, so that is appeal mechanism also needed to be provided. And targeted inclusion drive is something which we need to focus. We need to focus on vulnerable sections. We need to focus on women. Okay, we need to focus on those people who are vulnerable. Okay, so we need to train them, create awareness to them how to acquire documents or how to apply for the documents. So we need to train them with respect to that. And we have to monitor political neutrality. So ECI must ensure neutrality to avoid the bias allegations. Okay, so this particular topic will be important for the GS2 point of view. So role of ECI in democratic deepening. So in this particular this particular topic will be included. Okay, this can be learnt as part of GS2. Okay, this will be highly beneficial for the mains point of view. Okay, you can quote this particular examples in the essay also, ethics also, because there is an ethical dilemma between transparency and inclusivity. So there also you can quote this. So the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar is definitely an ambition effort. So there is no doubt in that. So definitely this is an ambition effort that has been taken up by the government. But what we need to do is we need to carefully implement it. Okay, we should expand the list of the documents that are needed to be provided, and we need to expand the timeline. We should not implement this particular activity hastily. Okay, we need to provide proper time, we need to train them, we need to create awareness in the people. Okay, so all of this all of these things are needed to be adopted in order to make the process fair. Okay, yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you have understood this particular topic in detail, and you can get the access of this particular PDF in our Telegram channel. So the Telegram channel link is provided in the description box, so you can get access of the PDF over there, and along with the PDF and lot of updates, other updates and other information which is required for the exam will be updated on the daily basis. So you need to check upon our Telegram channel. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for supporting us, and please share our videos with your friends as well. Thank you.